State of Origin selection is still a week away, but...
Still a week away, we're going to pick our sides?
Yes, why not? We'll talk about changes. It's an interesting one going from first game into the second. We'll touch on this at the moment. Queensland, Paddy Carrigan yesterday.
I think that's about the only change, really. If you look at the game, it's really hard to analyse it because it's such a weird game. The first 20 minutes, New South Wales made 4 or 5 errors. Queensland dominated possession in the attacking end of the field. And while it was 13-13, Queensland looked really good, really good. So you cannot change that team much at all. With Carrigan going down, I think there's an opportunity to get Cotter in his preferred position, as in that middle 13 player, ball playing, tackles, like his life depends on it. Maybe Nickera or maybe Heelan Lukey comes in onto that edge. But if I'm Billy, I'm not changing too much.
Reece? You picked Ezra ahead of him. Yesterday, you were preparing for commentary.
Yeah.
Broncos were poor. Reece had moments, like flashes of brilliance. Reece is, we've spoken about, you played all your football with Billy. Billy would take calculated risks.
Yeah.
And Reece does the same. They're very similar. Last year, those calculated risks, 9 out of 10 came off. Yep. At the moment, he's not quite in the groove. Look at a lot of his touches as we're talking about him here. But, Coop, what do you think about coming into the 19?
Yeah, I would have had Walsh in there before Ezra, just through the form, right? But then you look at some of the reasons why, and if one of the halves went down, you didn't really have a ready-made half on the bench. I think that's why Ezra was there.
Yep.
But I still think that person on the bench, it is to cover, which is a conservative decision. If it's Reece Walsh, that's a scary proposition.
Yeah.
It's scary to have him on the field, particularly what New South Wales did to run down that scoreboard in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
They brought on McLean. They had lots of ball players out in the field. Look, I think I can understand it from an insurance point of view, just having Ezra there in case. But player for player, I think Walsh is there in front of Ezra.
Yeah, Cooper. Watching the Broncos yesterday, we're seeing some of it at the moment. Look, first and foremost, their heads weren't on. Righto, they gave the Dragons very little respect and got what they deserved, right? Yeah. But the other thing, if you talk about, technique and sequence-based football, we've said a lot last year, you see the very best of the Broncos when they open up the full field. Yeah. Playing a bit of sideline to side, this sort of stuff gives them opportunity. At the moment, they're back to just playing half-field sequences.
Yeah, I'm not going to question Bill and his selections, but he knows the fullbacks play better than anyone. But at the moment, Reece's gap between his best and his worst, there's a bigger gap. But there's some other players in the Queensland side that have a big gap between their consistency as well. But when he's good, far out he's good.
Yeah, he is.
And when he's bad, like some other players are a bit bad as well. But I think in terms of Queensland selections, I don't think there's too much to change. Carrigan might have to, and there may be some spots on the bench. But I tell you what, New South Wales have got some thinking to do because... for the time that it was 13-13, they were off the mark.
First
and then
half,
Kalen goes off and all of a sudden things start clicking. So as a selector, as a New South Wales person, how do you decide what is the right decision to stay loyal or change because the majority of the game they were beaten?
Coop, the bottom line is, I ask you the question, do Queensland win the game if Ponga stays on the field?
Do.
Undoubtedly.
Yep.
So how can we afford not to make changes?
Yeah.
And there's just certain areas that we've got to be better. I think we need more creativity out of 9. If we help we couldn't get yardage traction until Cam Murray came on. Him and Victor made a big difference. Victor with a lift and a motion. Cam Murray's just his fast feet through the middle. For that reason, Brayley from my mail was probably going to come into the starting lineup. Yep. I go Coruscant.
Yeah, right.
Robson is, great competitor. Fantastic defence.
Robson's not in at all. You're starting Appy.
I start Appy.
Okay.
Yeah, but I just think, mate, you've got a bloke here who's got experience. He's played with a lot of the key players before, and he's creative. He's tough and he's creative. The other one is, look, Katoni. I thought Katoni had... Kalen caused Katoni a lot of problems, as Kalen does, any centre. But I moved Crichton over to that side. Yep. On the right side, I put Casey McLean left centre. Yep. I would have had Latrell. Latrell's out with a back injury. Yep. Casey McLean, you can't deny. When you watch what McLean did in that last, I know it's only 23 minutes, but the way he went after the game, the way he played yesterday, his form's just undeniable.
Anyone wants to go have a look at why Casey McLean should be in the side, Go have a look at his defensive decisions yesterday. Like, as a centre, when Staggs is under pressure from Kalen, you got to stay square on like a lead runner, which is run inside shoulder. Then you got the speed of someone out the back. Casey McLean did it brilliantly yesterday. He had Tuapicky on the outside, and he just slid off on the right decision, got stuck into the Warriors at different stages. He's one hell of a player, and he's got moments in him. So naturally, I can't really argue with that. I think one of the other things about the middle forwards, like in terms of Adam Fanua-Blake and Reece Robson, I don't think New South Wales are going to miss the start in Game 2. I don't think Brian To'o is going to have 3 errors again in his life coming out own end. So those guys that tried to stump up and repel for a period of time, I don't think they're going to be under as much pressure. So. I
mean, Haas goes there, son. Haas comes
he's in. Can you have Payne Haas and Adam Fanua-Blake on the same side?
I think you can. When you have a look at Haas's...
What, starting together or one on the bench?
His movement. Look, what I would do, I'd start them together. Yeah. Adam Fanua-Blake, his second stint was a lot better than his first. His second stint was pretty strong. Yeah. His first stint, he was just, he couldn't quite get into the game. And a lot of that was the fact that we weren't getting forward and early tackles. As you said, Brian To'o, if you look at... When Brian To'o retires, you'll say, mate, he was one of the greats of Origin football. You just look at his statistics and what he's done continually. But that's, he come up with all those errors. Crichton come up with errors, which made it hard on the middle man. But I start with Haas, and I have Cam Murray at 13.
So you're putting your captain back to the bench?
Well, it gives the captain an opportunity to just watch what's going on.
I'll say that again. You're putting your captain to the bench.
Well, you just got to do what I think is best for the side. I love Isaiah. You know that. I think he's the smartest bloke in the game.
But you put him to the bench, though?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Because it's what I want at the start of the game. Cam Murray, we need to start strong. We need to start well. I think we need to do less passing and more just direct running. Cam Murray, you have Cam Murray, Payne Haas and Adam Fanua-Blake. If those 3 blokes play to their potential, forget about it.
I think you're off your head with Isaiah Yeo, but anyway.
I'm not off my head.
But I actually don't mind the Payne Haas and Adam Fanua-Blake. You start those 2, you're banking on, and you're basically telling every team, every player in New South Wales, do not miss the start. Because if they have 40% possession like they did in Game 1, Payne Haas and Adam Fanua-Blake are going to be ineffective defensively. But I tell you what, if they have 60% possession,
look out.
Look out. Like, they will take off and dominate that first 20 minutes.
Every player wants to play State of Origin, right? Like, I'm sorry, even if you're out of form, carrying injury, you want to play. But I thought it was tough on Mitch Barnett. Like, if you look at Mitch, coming off an ACL injury and only played 3 games this year, really stop-start year. Like, it was a tough ask for him. And I thought his second stint was good. I thought that first stint when Queensland had line share possession, were playing really fast through middle, I thought he struggled there. I think he needs more football under his belt.
I actually don't mind that. Adam Fanua-Blake, Payne Haas, I'd have Yeo there. And then your bench rotations, Cam Murray and Victor Radley. That's punchy. Like that, they turned a little bit of that contest in that first game. So I don't mind that mix-up.
I think there's, like you look at a Jackson Ford or a Terrell May, but I do think Dylan Lucas. I mean, look what Dylan Lucas did. On the weekend, and they're going to come back to the fact he can play edge, back row, or can play centre. And so I think I would have had him in the first game. We'll see what we do here. The big one, Mitch Moses and Ethan Strange. We spoke about this on 360. You would think Ethan goes back to 14. Tough, very tough to do. It's Mitch is sort of at that point. The Moses-Cleary combination, very, very strong one.
No, I think it's got, I think it's Moses. I think you got the luxury of having Ethan on the bench. He could cover a 9 if needed to, but Mitch Moses was your 6 before Game 1, he's your 6 for Game 2.